Oh look, it's raining and I'm coughing up blood clots. See what I mean? Nobody cares. I told them what the deal was. It didn't nobody listen. I've been telling them and telling them and telling them and telling them. Depending on when you want to know, it started as early as, third grade, whenever they were molesting me. Then I tried to tell them whenever I turned 17, but nobody wanted to hear that because I wasn't 18 yet, and my mom and dad were responsible for me, and they didn't want to help me all along. So then I waited until I was 18, and I tricked them into taking me up to the Herman Hospital, or Ben Taub, by saying that I had a little accident with my left arm, but nobody looked, and nobody looked at anything else I was talking about. But I had to sit there and watch a dude with his leg cut off, or almost all the way off. How will you put it? With it hanging there by a thread or a piece of skin, a piece of meat, just a little bit left of it, while he's sitting there with it rotting off. Want to know what? The nurse and the doctor come up and was talking about hiding the shit. Yeah. They covered it up that they forgot to stick it on ice. They should have just cut it off, is exactly what they were talking about, and put his leg on ice. But they let that biker lose his leg and lay on that deal and took me in there into another room and talked to me and looked at it and didn't do shit. Didn't do anything. Do you get what's going on with the healthcare around here? If you ain't got money and you ain't born with money and your parents want to mess you up, they can kill you later on with leukemia. Because they knew that. But it's okay. That's what America does. And you can tell people and tell people and tell people. They lock me up. Every time they lock me up for 15 years, I told them. But nobody would help me. Then I had a car wreck where they could collect from insurance. And guess what? The magic gates of heaven, since Christianity is the one that does the healthcare, opened up. And they did surgery on my back, on my lower back. You see my scars. Guess what? Then, after years of hounding them, they find out my back's messed up all the way up it, but they want to call it degenerative disc disease when it's really freaking been shattered. They found that in the 8th grade whenever I fell, and it was responsible for the basketball, or the school to do it, because, you fell in the gym, and they got to pay, they got to make sure you're okay, you know what I mean, before you go back. And they found it, because I tricked the Dr. Salrin into it, and, from there on and on and on and on and on. 10 years, or not 10 years, I don't know how many years later after 8th grade, I'm trying to count that up as like age, and it's not. But anyways, years later, now look at what I'm dealing with. Blood on the ground. My kids treated me like shit. I already know they was robbing my fucking house. They're trying to steal my shit, all my stuff. The police is coming up here with their little fucking crap talking about and then busting some black dude up here on the corner while I'm sitting there. He come up to me talking to me, was there maybe 5 or 10 minutes, maybe a little bit more than 10 minutes, but anyways, I said between 10 and 15 minutes, so I was probably pretty close with the 10. Then the next thing you know, they're showing up wanting to arrest him for criminal destruction of property. Yeah, that's what they call it when you burn all your shit the fuck up. You own it, but it's criminal destruction of property. How is it criminal to destroy your shit so the kids can come up and rob you? They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care whether you live or die. And they're sitting in your house committing fraud on the whole government, and nobody wants to do nothing but screw with you and steal your money, threaten you, make you suffer, make you do without food for everybody else. For a bitch who wanted to motherfucking sit around on her ass and sit on your dick when you're fucking asleep and get pregnant. I told her I didn't want to have kids. I told her I wear a condom. She was talking about poking holes in them. Everybody keeps playing games and talking about I abused him. He abused me, abused me, abused me. Who the fuck wouldn't sock a rapist in the goddamn face? Just like who wouldn't sock a cop in the face for letting them fucking rape you and get away with it, huh? You want to talk shit? Who wouldn't sock a fucking judge in the face for that shit? As a matter of fact, who wouldn't start shooting people? Well, I should go get me some clown shoes and a freaking clown nose and a little bit of makeup and just smear that stuff all over my face and, yeah, go be a clown and start shooting people. Huh? Wouldn't that be funny? That's what everybody does. You know, this whole place, they just walk right on by. They'll run and tell on you, though, if they hear you saying that. So why don't you run and go tell? Oh, he's threatening. No, I ain't threatening. I feel like doing it. I really feel like doing it because y'all didn't want to help me. But you want to know what I'm shooting? I'm shooting my mouth. And my mouth causes a lot of problems. You want to know what? My country, 'tis of thee. Sweet land of your asshole that be. Yeah. You know about the motherfucking national anthem. It's a piece of crap. Wrote by a piece of crap. Singing about a bunch of pieces of crap. They talk about, oh, support your troops and shit. Give them a cell phone. Do this, do that. What the fuck? They got money. Go buy a fucking cell phone. They're $30 freaking. If you can't take $30 of your fucking money and spend it on a fucking cell phone, you got problems, buddy. They'll give you free Wi-Fi at the base. You ain't got to have minutes on it. You can make your phone call right there on the base. They got Wi-Fi. Get a life. I've saved your troops with nothing because you wouldn't do nothing. Just like you wouldn't do nothing to help me. And they know it. There's people out there with their families that know it. They've seen me come in and help them. Well, you know what? Ain't nobody here to help me now. Nobody. Nobody's got my back. The police don't do shit. They sexually assault me. They can do whatever the fuck they want to. Because everybody want to play games about some fucking pot. But they don't care about raping people and murdering people. They let murderers go. Up in Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. Up in Illinois, they just let them go. Because the system was corrupt. But when you bust somebody for pot, it don't nobody give a shit. When you bust somebody for stealing, and you wasn't really stealing, you were taking stuff from people to set it up so you could get rid of all these freaking pedophiles around in the area where you're living at, because they're trying to molest your sister. They're coming to your house molesting your sister, and they're molesting you in your own house. And when you leave, you got a uncle that's running around talking about you were smoking pot when you wasn't smoking pot. It was freaking the bumpy road and the tires, and made it look like little ashes was coming off that it's on fire, you know what I mean? And you can see the little red sparkles coming off of it. But I was smoking pot. I didn't smoke no pot with no James Fisher. You're a lie. I didn't steal. You had your little kangaroo court in Waller County Jail, and you put me in the jail thing, and you never heard nothing about why. You didn't want to hear shit. Just like you didn't want to hear shit when you arrested me for smoking pot. Could have told you why. I hurt my back at work. And didn't nobody want to pay. And Dr. Sauer, the same doctor, sent me back to work. But I can sit here and say this over and over and over again, and I got retards coming up to me and telling me nobody cares. Because their little mental health thingy up here is trying to lock me up in a fucking nut hut. Or the police is fucking doing shit and trying to do stupid stuff. Then you got an MRI dude who's trying to say I'm crazy because I'm telling him I was up on top of something as high as that. You can see it right over my shoulders, over the shoulder boulder holder. Look at that big fancy ass fucking church. Now, why is this place falling apart? This community, but it's got big fancy churches and money to fix those churches. Why do they have money to do all this shit, but they don't have no money to help nobody? I am suing the church. You can hear it on video. You're screwed. Bye, guys. And I'm suing this country, and I'm suing this state and every other state in it. I want $3 million from each one of you, plus the other two little states, Area 51 or 52, and the Pentagon. You got a little hole in the ground over there, too. It says that in the Bible. The one with 2 holes in the ground is screwed. You know it. Continental Drift is coming for you. Mickey Mantle played baseball here. Got pictures of it all over the place. They bought a ringer. Guess what? It's the Earth's mantle that's going to fuck you. Little rich bitch boys. And I can follow you all the way back to Louisiana and all the way over to California with the Heidi Fleiss thing in California and whatever that lady was down south in Louisiana. Now you got me? You's all screwed. Anybody with a lick of sense could track you down and wipe everything you got out for what you've done. It's all part of history. All the way to a president standing at the Pink Flamingo Inn in Natchez, Kansas. You got me? All the way to a president. But I can't have my disability money because everybody want to act like I'm a nut. You can research what I'm talking about. It's all true. Natchez, Kansas. There's a church on the hill. Looks a awful lot like a mountain when you're standing at one part of it looking up. It looks a lot like a mountain. But you go back around to the road, it's really just a big hill. made of rock. Somehow it just jutted up right out in the middle of nowhere. Don't nobody know how. And then, you're talking about sucking all this oil out, and it told you in the Bible not to do it. It told you explicitly not to do it. It told you the whales are an abomination. You're not supposed to use that. It told you all of it, but you did it anyway.